Hello, chess family. It's me, National Master Jesse James, and it's time for another installment for How to Play the Accelerated Dragon. This time, we're going to be taking a look at the classical variation, which is to play Bishop E2. In this one, they don't play the best move; they play Knight takes C6. So, well, if you've been following this channel, you've been following this whole series, you'll know exactly what to do. Let's go ahead and take a look. Here we go. We started with E4, C5, Knight F3, Knight C6, D4, C takes, Knight takes, G6, Knight C3. Bishop G7, Bishop E3, Knight F6, Bishop E2, and this is just the classical variation. As we've seen before, Bishop C4 is the modern variation because, well, remember, if you're playing the side for black, you want to get D5 in. Just remember, if you need to castle first, but if you get D5 in, you're equal, if not better. With that being said, you're usually better. All right, here we go. We go ahead and castle, and what does black play here? Of course, D5 gets played. And, well, in this line, like I said, they don't play the challenging variation. We'll be taking a look at it next time where they actually play this whole pawn takes on d5, knight takes on d5, knight takes, queen takes, and bishop f3. And we'll see what to do against this one. This is definitely one of the most challenging ways that I think in this line. But in this one, they just play the simple knight takes d5 and then knight takes on c6. And this just helps build your center. Pawn takes on c6. There's that little rule that we have when they're playing the Sicilians, you know, for white, it's usually a bad idea to take on c6 because it just opens up the position. Here, black's going to have an extra pawn in the center, but it also opens up this file so you can put pressure down the b file. And that's exactly what happens. And here, white does it again. Knight takes on d5, pawn takes. Now black just has two beautiful center pawns. And again, he still has pressure down this diagonal over here and also down the file on the b file. And it's pretty simple. All we got to do is just start exerting pressure. Here we go. White played pawn c3. The only way to really defend this pawn. Rook b8. Let's start putting pressure over there. And queen to d2, defending the pawn. Of course, white could have tried to grab the pawn on a7, but after rook takes on b2, you can see that the rook has penetrated. The c pawn is weak. The a pawn's weak. Here, black is just in a better position. Well, after queen d2, develop with the threat. What does black play here? Queen to a5 exclam. There's already nice ideas with like the rook takes b2 stuff with bishop takes on c3. I'm not saying this works right now, but it's a typical idea that can get played. All right, rook after d1, putting pressure on the pawn. And rook to d8. Remember, develop all your pieces. Bishop g5 got played. Interesting move, putting a little bit of pressure on the e7 pawn. Rook d7, just defending it right away. Of course, black wants to play e6 at some point. You just can't play it right away because, well, it would have been hanging. All right, bishop f3, again putting pressure. And now simple chess, just restrain and maintain, pawn to e6. The idea here is very simple. We're probably going to slide our rook over to the b file and again put pressure over here. Now, we have this weaknesses over here, so we're going to just put pressure as much as possible. And then if we need to, we'll start pushing in the center. But until then, let's just hold our position. Pawn e3 got played, and this is definitely not the best move here. Why? Well, because now you just have this weak square, and now you have a backwards pawn. I'm sure white wanted to play something like b4, but even if you do try to play something like b4 right here, well, you've just created this backwards pawn, so we don't attack the b pawn anymore. Now we're attacking this backwards c pawn. It's a backwards pawn because, well, it can't be moved forward without being captured. Here, black just plays queen c7, and then you'll keep adding pressure to this. And this is very, very common. All you're doing is putting pressure on the pawns, and anytime they move forward, well, they just get weaker and weaker. All right, so a3 got played. Rook b3, exclam, not allowing b4, and now we literally have the backwards pawn where it can't be moved forward at all, and it's very hard to kick this rook away. In fact, you can already envision Alekhine's gun happening. You know, queen b5, rook to b7, and all of a sudden all the pressure is on this b pawn, and something will be falling pretty soon. Rook b1 got played, bishop a6 developing, queen to f4. Yeah, I'm not too sure what the idea was of this move. Maybe they're just trying to trade off the bishops, but that being said, that does not help your position. Although you can maybe trade off this dark square bishop, well, it's really just gonna just help out black, as black is gonna have extra tempos to attack the b pawn, and there really is no kingside attack since, well, you need pieces over there to attack with, and all you really have is a light square bishop, and, well, all these pawns in the light squares are just not going to be good for you. All right, rook over to b7. As I said, we're gonna put pressure on b2, maybe Alekhine's gun in the future. Bishop f6 and queen to c7 exclam. Here, again, white was just trying to go for an attack. The idea is very simple. If you go to endgame, this is just a lost endgame here. So after queen c7, well, the queen's having a hard time defending the bishop over here. So queen takes, rook takes, bishop takes, king takes, and again, this is just a winning position. This is already a -3 position, basically saying, black's already up an extra piece. I love these kind of positions because although there is no material disadvantage yet, the position is so good for you that it's basically down a piece already. All right, pawn g3 got played, rook over to b7, and rook over to d4. Here, you can't even try the idea of rook to d2, because what do you play here? Simple chess. Yes, you cannot take on b2 anymore, but you can take on a3 or take on c3. With that being said, I would take on c3 here, so I can get a double attack attacking the bishop, and then I'll probably try to take on a3 next move. All right, so back to the game. Rook d4 got played, trying to get this rook active, and of course, well, let's just keep it simple. Rook takes on c3 anyways. Rook to a4, bishop to d3, rook to e1, rook takes on b2, rook takes on a7, and here, well, we just snagged us a extra pawn over here. Plus, you can see our rooks are actually very, very active over here. Now, we do have to be careful because white did create a passed pawn here, but, well, we're just really too active. We're going to be winning this pawn right away. Bishop c4 got played, attacking the bishop. Bishop g4, this bishop is really suffering. There's really no good square for it to move to. King to f6, the king decides to join the attack. Bishop h3, and now, well, black to move. What is your best plan here? Go ahead and push pause if you can figure it out. All right, hopefully you push pause. Hopefully you try to figure out what is the best plan here. There was two plans in this situation. What's one of them? We can go after the a pawn right away with something like rook a2. And, well, this is a good plan. You're going to be winning this pawn right here. With that being said, what was the best move? Well, the best move was to go on to the attack. Rook to c2, doubling of the rooks on the second rank. Well, that's just going to be a deadly combination. It's just going to be game over here. I mean, worst case scenario, even if things do go bad, you should at least have a draw. But here, well, you're going to be breaking through with an attack. Here we go. Bishop to f1 got played, and, well, bad timing here. What do you play? Of course, you just take on f2 here. Of course, the bishop can't really take on c4 here. And, well, bishop takes on c4. What are you going to do? Rook check, king h1, rook check, king g1, rook check, king f1, and then takes. Maybe white was hoping that in this, crazy position that, they might be able to push their pawn. But, black just created a new passed pawn for themselves. Plus, they have mating threats here. And this is typically what happens whenever you have the doubled rooks here. There's checks all day, and, well, passed pawns will be pushed at that point too. Rook e3 got played. Rook over to c2, a nice little idea threatening checkmate here. Checkmate, a good check here to win the rook. White went ahead and played rook f3 check. King to g5, king to g1. Of course, trying to take the pawn on f7 is bad. Either way you slice it because, well, checkmate can get played. So king g1, f5, no pawn left behind, as I like to say. a4 got played. Of course, white gets to try and do something here. Their king is in jeopardy, and, well, I guess the best that we could do is just push our passed pawn. Rook over to d2. Rook takes on h7. Notice here, if you played rook f1 to stop the checkmate, you fell for the swine mate. Rook g2 check, king h1. Rook h2 check, king g1. Rook to g2 for check and mate. So, rook a2 now gets played. Now, the idea is very simple. We can win the a4 pawn. If you win the a4 pawn, the rest of this will really fall pretty fast here. And again, the rook can't go back because the swine mate ideas are always going to be there. Oop! Actually, with the rook guarding here, there's no more swine mates, but we should just win this a4 pawn either way. All right, rook h4 got played. Rook takes on a4, defending the pawn. Rook back to f1. Pawn to e5, and here the pawns just start rolling. I mean, yeah, white should definitely have resigned by now, but we'll just have good technique here. Pawn e4, blocking the pawn. Rook over to h8. I guess the rook is going to try and swing behind it. And, well, many ways to win here. Rook to a3 got played. Rook to c4. Rook check. And rook g2. Rook takes on c4. Rook df2. King e1. e3. And at this point, well, it's forced checkmate. There's no way to stop the rook to g1 from happening. So white went ahead and called it a game and resigned. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, this was the classical variation for white whenever they play the bishop to e2 in the accelerated dragon. So after castles, you play d5, pawn takes, knight takes, and if they do make the mistake with knight takes, all they do is give you a full center attack on the queen side, and you're just going to have a good game. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you in the next video.